movie fans.
Like Movie Slam.
Indeed. So I'm going to tell you this story, all right? Back in 2012, I was on the I was a freshman in high school, not knowing what to do with myself,
Right.
and I just got my iPhone
Oh,
and I was
yes. I
looking up
remember that.
yeah, I was looking up YouTube stuff because I was finally on the YouTube, and I was looking on like I don't know, movie podcasts. And all of a sudden this one came up. It was like AMC movie talk. I was like, "What? There's a the movie theater chain has a movie podcast?" So I took a look at it and I thought it was going to be, like commercial or whatever, like corporate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't like that. It was actually engaging and actually like talking about real movies. Like they were saying bad crap about movies, but also good things about movies.
Huh.
Just really random. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually pretty good. So I kept on watching it.
Yeah.
So now let me tell you the history behind. And that's how I got into Movie Talk. Let me tell you about the history of Movie Talk. So Movie Talk started with the man, the myth, the legend, John
The fat
Campea.
man.
He's not fat, he's pudgy, but that's that doesn't this it doesn't help with doesn't hurt his character or whatever or his work
Yes.
ethic. But anyway, John Campea created this movie podcast akin to ESPN, sports talk or whatever, like sports talk
Huh.
radio, and he did it. He did it pretty well, honestly. Like the only thing that it's changed compared from him then to now is that he didn't swear. So yeah. So John Campea made this movie talk with Amy Rose Eisenbach and Dennis Sen, aka the Asian that you saw.
Right.
They did some pretty good things, mostly about they mostly did news about the big movies because people watch the big movies, but in order to get views, but all in all they did pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I agree. They seemed like they were very professional. Even the pudgy man himself seemed pretty professional. It was
Okay,
funny seeing a podcast about these movies that are now just kind of common culture things from the past.
yeah, aka uh crap, what was I? AKA the the big movies, I guess. Anywho, so we watched the first ever episode of AMC Movie Talk,
We did.
and compared to today, we're gonna get into today, but first ever one, I forgot how like really crappy it was. Honestly, like
Yes.
it was just guys on a table just talk in a closet pretty much just talking about movies and that's it.
Wow.
And it was talking about it was basically like sports radio, honestly. Like, is Penelope Cruz going to be the next James Bond girl?
Yup.
Or I don't know, is Man of Steel going to be uh good or bad? We don't know. Anyway, but yeah, anyway, actually it inspired quite a bit of other channels like Fandom Entertainment. Fandom Entertainment kind of does the same thing, except theirs is more like generalized
Hmm.
with like I guess what movies will make, I guess. Like there's this whole show with called Charting with Dan and charting like the box office of certain movies. There's this whole like talk and debate about whether or not some decisions that people are making are good and all that, akin to movie talk.
Yes. Most certainly akin to movie talk. I agree with you there 100%, Chief.
I'll tell you what though, the main four or the main six, I should say, the
Yes.
main six big heavy hitters of this show was basically John Campea, Amy Rose Eisenbach, Dennis Zen. Oh wait, probably seven. Sorry. So
That's all good.
Dennis Zen. There's John Schnapp, Christian Harloff, and Mark Ellis.
Right.
They're the big heavy hitters there. John Schnapp unfortunately passed away. Rest in
Rest in
peace, John
peace.
Schnapp.
Yep.
He was
Indeed.
he was a classy guy. He was a really great guy. Like he knew his stuff about comics and all that. And
Huh.
according to John Campea himself, reason why he hired John Schnapp was because he knew about Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out. So he was like, "Yo, get this guy on the thing."
I don't blame him. That's a good reason to hire someone, he's going to have insight about what's coming up.
Yes, indeed. But anyway, he tragically passed away. Amy Rose Eisenbach left because she wanted to do like indie filmmaking or whatever.
Hmm.
Dennis Zen, I guess, is still there. He's just more behind the camera.
Right.
John Campea. Now look, I think the reason why the show lasted for this long, and the main reason why it switched over to two different channels was because of John Campea. It's basically his baby, honestly. Like, he created this thing from the ground up.
Oh, yeah.
And
you're right.
the reason why it moved over was because AMC was like, I don't think this is really our forte, really. Like, they were giving them, like, loads of money, but they were kind of like, we're not getting really any returns on this, which is fine for them. But, Collider came in and was like, you know what, we can probably make this into something, like, better. Have you guys grow. And
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's what they did. They moved everybody over, all their shows over to Collider, which is where they live, or used to live today.
Do they not live there anymore?
Oh, we're going to get into that. That's going to
I
be
bet we are.
the big and juicy thing right there.
Okay, keep going then. Tell us the story.
So this is something that I've kind of held deep within my heart.
Yes.
Because, honestly, John was the heartbeat of the show. Without him, it was kind of meh, I guess. But John was kind of the heartbeat of the show, for the most
Right.
part. This guy left 3 times. It was like, spoiler alert for Walking Dead, but it was like Glenn dying in The Walking Dead. You think he's dead, you think he's gone, but nope, he's back.
And better than ever.
Yeah, I guess. Like, the first time was like, oh,
Maybe.
phew, good. He put aside all of his differences and all that.
Yes.
But he left again, I was like, what the hell? Why did you leave again? And then he came back, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever.
That's a little odd.
And then he left again, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell? Turns out people at Collider were not allowing him to develop his own way, I guess.
Right.
Like, they had a lot of creative differences, quote unquote creative differences, I guess, with management. So John was like, okay, I'm gone. So he made his own channel, and actually I enjoy it. It's pretty decent. He built it from the ground up, honestly. Again, this one I think is a little bit better because he has it in his own house, so it's a little bit more personal, which I enjoy. But after that, everyone just like started falling off the deep end, I guess.
Right.
Like, Christian left, Mark Ellis left, and so yeah. And after John left the 3rd time, then it started getting more, I guess, corporate.
Really.
Yeah, it was something I
Wow.
really didn't want to happen, but it got more corporate. It got a lot shorter, which I loved when they ranted and did all that stuff. But
Yeah.
now they just like would, I don't know, they would have talk for like 5 minutes. And they would time themselves, and I'd be like, no, I don't like this. So anyway, about 3 weeks ago, as of the time of this recording, Collider announced to everybody that they would be shutting down all of their AMC original like shows, I guess.
Right.
Like they were shutting down Movie Talk. Another show they brought over was Heroes, where they basically talked about superhero movie news and specifically superhero movie news. They shut down Jedi Council, which was Star Wars movie and TV and comic book and book news
Right.
in the same vein. And they shut down um, Collider Live, which was basically everybody just sitting around like after movie talk, just talking, I guess. I didn't
Yes.
really watch a whole lot of that because that was just seemed like they were reaching a little too much. And I believe they shut down Rule of Two as well. I mean, I saw a new episode just go up, but I think that was just a separate, like a special thing. But yeah,
Hmm.
they shut down everything, and they didn't tell the people about it. Like
Wow.
literally, the hosts of these shows were told this like literally an hour before the press release came out.
Huh.
And there's, yeah, without warning, they were just like, "Oh shoot, we're fired." What? Not even a statement. Just they
Oh
found.
man.
But yeah, they shut down all these shows, and then all of a sudden, this the owner of Collider went up, like went on, did a like a town hall or whatever, and just went on there and explained everything,
Hmm.
and it was crap. Everyone hated it. It
I'm
was
sure.
basically corporate decisions and all that, and
Wow.
not being a good, like he was stumbling on every word and all that. It was awful. John Campy came out and said stuff about this, and he was furious with him. Everybody there doing that stuff. Also, like, apparently there's this really high up guy, like, this really high
Yeah.
up guy in the circle of corporate who went on Twitter and said that all these shows sucked,
Oh
and
wow.
and that the
That's
and that the new shows were like better, and no wonder everyone wasn't watching these shows. They sucked or something, and everyone was just like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck? Why are they saying
seems a
this?"
bit unprofessional.
No, he was. He was apparently. I don't think he got fired, but there was some measures taken to him. Thank God. But
Yes.
yeah, like everyone was everyone was in an uproar, and so far, I noticed that like there was 20,000 as soon as they like acquitted the shows or whatever. All every like there was like 20,000 subscribers unsubscribed
Wow.
overnight. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a big number of
It is.
unsubscribing
That
going on.
was really
Wow.
big, which is probably why he did the town hall, honestly. And
Yes.
John Campia, even though he disliked the guy, was like, "All right, why don't you come on my show and I'll help you out with the talking to people and whatever. Try to
Huh.
salvage this a little bit." And he was like, "Okay, thank you." So he came on the show. That was very interesting. Like
Huh.
you can see that he was like kind of. John was kind of like, "Yeah, okay, I got you now. You're my, I got you now. You're putty in my hands." And yeah. So now they just do for your consideration, I guess, where they go around and like like interview people. They interview stars of like indie movies and all that. There's comic book shopping with like random stars and all that. Stuff I don't really like anymore.
Right,
But
right.
I like the movie talk. I miss movie talk. I wish John was back on movie talk. He would have saved it. But
Yeah, what can you do?
all in all, that's it for that. The structure of this late show, the way I remember it, I'll just go super fast with this.
Sure.
First, they would have like I don't know, five movie topics for like 30 to 45 minutes. They would talk about this, and then
Yes.
they would have like five questions they would answer from emails, and then they would go onto Twitter and take live questions or whatever. But this was before the super chat feature when they went
Huh.
live. When they went live for the first time, everyone was just like out in an uproar. It was like, yes, good
Huh.
job. But yeah, now they're dead and gone, which is sad. They'll
Yes.
always hold a special place in my heart, even though they went more corporate and more, I don't know, something I didn't like in the end, but yeah, whatever. It was a good show. It should have lasted longer, but it didn't. So, there you
Yeah.
go. And
All
yeah,
right.
so coming from your angle, you saw the first video, and you saw the latest video, right? Was for your consideration or whatever.
Correct.
What did you think of it?
Well, I mean, they both look like they were edited professionally. Obviously the first one we looked at being, the image quality was 2013 level, so it wasn't quite as good. But um, to be honest, I didn't necessarily enjoy watching either of them. I don't know. It didn't grab my attention at all.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean yeah, that was the first one was kind of like very rough in the beginning.
yeah, I could see that being part of it.
As you go on though, which you probably won't, but
No, I definitely won't.
yeah, because
I'm gonna say
it's not
that
your
now.
thing. But
No.
plus, it's not like it's not like a serialized show. It's not you
Yeah.
can go back and do it. It's kind of like okay, this is like old news. But
Right.
if it was if as you go on though, you get more of a feel of it and get more of like okay, well these guys pretty down to earth, pretty nice, pretty chill, pretty lax. They like
Yeah.
movies. It's basically like talking with random guys that love movies too, but they know
Hmm.
more about the news
Yeah.
element of it. And yeah,
Okay.
also
Huh.
the for your consideration thing, I can agree with you too. That sucked. I really
Yes.
really didn't like it. It was very corporate, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it must have been so bad that honestly I don't even remember what they talked about. That's how boring it was. It was worse than the first one.
Yeah,
So
I
I
know.
get
Like
that goes to show you how it went downhill a bit.
yeah, it was it was pretty bad. Yeah, I can't even remember it either. Let me try to see even what it was about. Just scrolling down here to the thing, and it was about oh, it was summertime review. It was a summertime review or whatever. So they
Oh,
reviewed Summertime, which is at the Sundance Festival, which is a big, huge movie festival. But yeah, that's it was just a little 5 minute review, and I can't even remember it. It was so boring and dumb. Like
oh yeah, that's what it was.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's I'm I'll see what happens, but this channel used to be like one of the pillars for me, but now it's just like whatever. Sucks. Screw you.
Yeah.
The reviews are terrible. Another reviewer that I'll be talking about in 2 podcasts. Chris Stuckman. I will be talking about Chris Stuckman, so get ready for that. But
Yeah,
this
that will
man,
be a long one.
yeah, but this man, even even though I'll say this, even though all he does is just review stuff, I can remember what he did in almost every review that I've seen of him. It's
Hmm.
more often than not, it's basically the same thing, but I remember that and his opinions more than what Collider did with this for your consideration crap.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my thing for AMC slash Collider movie talk.
All right. Well,
If I
thank you for sharing with us.
Indeed, if I had to give this a rating, which I don't think we should, but if I had to give this a rating, I'd give it right now a 4 out of 10.
That's
Cause
unfortunate.
yeah, cause the reason I give it a 4 is because I can still watch the other videos whenever I want. They didn't take them down, thank God. So yeah,
Yes. Okay.
all the new stuff sucks.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store for the future, but as of now, I'm not impressed. And that is it. I am done. I wipe my hands of this. Let's now